Welcome to Justice for, a true crime podcast hosted by two besties from Colorado. We're focused on bringing justice to the victims by telling their stories. New episodes release every single Tuesday, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and the follow button anywhere that you can find us, and you'll get updates on all of our new episodes.
Just a warning, this podcast does contain adult language and adult themes, such as assault and abuse of varying forms, so please listen and watch with discretion.
Have you ever done something so bad that you can't stop thinking about it? You just sit and wonder what you should have done or said differently in that situation. Sometimes you keep having nightmares about it, or you just lay in bed because it's keeping you from sleeping, because you know what you did was wrong, right?
I mean, I know what you're saying, but generally it's just something I said that now I'm going to think about for the next 3 nights while I try to go to sleep.
Yeah.
But I understand the whole bad
Or
part
you
too.
forgot the ranch. I
Oh my
still have
God.
nightmares about that.
Still have nightmares. Table 3 needs ranch.
Yes. However, there are some people in this world that can do something so barbaric to another person, and they're completely fine. They can eat and sleep without any thought behind it. They seem normal on any given day and can hide their secrets and feelings and just move on in their lives like nothing happened. These people scare me. And you should also be scared of them, especially if it's someone you trust deeply. Welcome back to another episode of Justice For. We are your host.
I'm Jackie.
And I'm Sam. She knows about this story.
You guys know about it a little bit too.
Yeah, you guys get me though.
Because we brought this up in a WTF,
I
right?
mention it later. Let me say my story.
I'm sorry.
But no, I mention it. You guys know about it a little bit.
Just a little bit.
We're just finally doing an in-depth, which is what we should have done. So, that was a fun way to start this episode. Just like threaten everyone right away.
It kind of was.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Yes, I'm excited.
All right. I'm going to give you maybe like another scenario here.
Okay.
Just for you to like think about, all right? So you're hanging out with your friend. This friend you talk to every single day. You're like in constant contact with them, right? You feel safe because you know this person, right?
You?
No, not me.
Oh.
You're never safe with me. I'm just kidding. Look, I'm such a girl's girl. I could never.
I know.
Like, you're the mom of the group, but I'm like an actual mom of the group, but I'm the mom of the group. Maybe just at my office, not between us.
Yeah.
I take back everything I just said.
To say.
I'm not.
I think Kirsten's the mom of the group because we do ask her for approval of a lot of things.
By the way, her real name is Kirsten.
And I refuse to call her that because of how I met your mother, and I enjoy having a Mean Girls catty moment, so.
Oh my God, okay. Anyway, so you would never think that they would do anything to harm you. And then bam. Yeah. So I'm going to take you to Millstad. It's a small town in Illinois that only has just under 4,000 people in it. When you Google it, it actually comes up as a village.
She actually finally found a small town. I'm so proud of her. She thinks 20,000 people is a small town.
It is. This is extra small. Extra small.
Extra. It's a micro town.
Yeah. It's a village. It is a village for fuck's sake. Okay?
Okay.
So it's known for the Eckers Millstat Farm, Pine Street Nature Pine Street Nature Trail.
Okay.
And the West End Bar and Restaurant. So, got ourselves another extra small town story. But let's take a trip down memory lane really quick, okay?
Okay.
Taking you to 2006.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Bad Day by David Powder was #1 on the billboards, followed by Temperature by Sean Paul and Promiscuous by Nelly Furtado. Honestly, the entire top 100 were bangers, and you have no idea how hard it was for me to not write down more songs.
I mean, I
was rough.
listened to at least 2 of those songs today, so
I mean, same. This was also the year that we were blessed with the movies 300, Borat, and She's the Man.
very nice.
Very nice. Another list I also had a very hard time narrowing down. There were some good ones, all right? Apple had just introduced the MacBook Pro.
Damn.
Twitter was created this year. A gallon of milk cost $3.23. A dozen.
Jesus.
I know.
Does it even
That's
cost that now?
Depends on what milk you get, but yeah, it's up there. Not as high, but it's
Huh.
like high twos. A dozen eggs was 98 cents,
Keep going.
and a loaf of bread was 97 cents. The Pittsburgh Steelers were the Super Bowl champs.
I mean, that
My
wasn't
boys.
absolutely necessary to add, but
No, it was necessary.
so milk is $3.49 a gallon right now.
Oh,
Sorry, that really bothered me because I was like, I swear I pay like 2 something for milk. I guess I was wrong.
maybe that's with our King Supers cards. Moving on. Moving on. Moving on.
I am moving on. But no, okay, so that's ridiculous because eggs are only $3.19 now and they were 99 cents back then. So
98
how
cents.
come eggs have jumped so far, but milk stays the
We're
same?
moving on. We're moving on. Move on. I'm going to say it again just because my heart needs it. The Pittsburgh Steelers were Super Bowl champs this year. The St. Louis Cardinals won this World Series, and the Carolina Hurricanes clinched the Stanley Cup this year.
See, and that's the way she should have set the Steelers in the Super Bowl, but she didn't.
You know what?
We're moving on. It's fine. We're moving on. We're moving on.
Okay. Pluto was demoted to a dwarf planet this year.
See, and that's the day my
Rip.
whole life changed, and we just
know.
took a turn left, and it never came back.
MySpace announced that it had 106 million accounts. And unfortunately, one of my favorite people, Ed Warren, died this year. From The Conjuring. Not the actor, the actual Ed Warren, who did the paranormal investigating with his wife, Lorraine.
That too makes me very sad.
Yeah, it's sad. Like, so many things happened in 2006. It was like a prime year, dude.
Mike graduated high school.
Yeah. That's her husband. But it was a prime year, like, for most of us.
It
right?
was. No, 2006 was a great year.
It was such a good year, dude. So our story today is about 17-year-old Ashley Reeves. Yes, this is the same Ashley from our WTF episode back on June 20th. I gave you a date.
Oh, damn.
I know. Ashley was described by her friends and family as a normal high schooler and was said to be an excellent student. They also said she was very funny and bright, but she was stubborn and strong-willed. She was looking forward to her senior year and being able to graduate from Columbia High School. She was part of the school's pep squad, yearbook committee, and the community outreach program. So she was like super involved in her school. She also had a lot of friends and had a deep love for basketball. She also had a boyfriend named Jeremy Smith. They had been dating for almost 2 years, and he just thought the absolute world of her and truly cared for her. Her parents, Michelle Reeves and Tracy Green Cohen, approved of him and even said he was very wholesome. Speaking of her family, she was also very close and had a pretty open relationship with them. Her mother stated that Ashley was very sweet, but she always had a way of getting her way. She also had, I didn't write it down, but I mentioned her later. She also has a younger sister named Casey.
Okay.
She seemed to be super, like, trusting in people. Ashley was, which, like, I totally get. I used to be super trusting in people, and that shit changes real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. So, April 27th was any normal day. The only difference this Thursday was that Ashley had a job interview in a neighboring town. She told her parents that after the interview, she was just going to go play some basketball, and she promised that she would be home before curfew. Jeremy, being the kind boyfriend that he was, let Ashley borrow his car for the interview since it was taking place at 3:30. She also made sure she brought a change of clothes to go play some basketball. Seems like pretty normal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, when she didn't return home at curfew, her mother instantly knew something was wrong. She would never break curfew, or at least she would like call and or text or something like that. But Michelle was trying to stay positive and just assumed like maybe she's just running a little late, her phone died, something. Like it's cool. Then once 10:30 hit, which was 30 minutes after her curfew, Michelle was worried because she didn't answer any calls, she wasn't answering any text message from her or Casey. So she decided to call the police and file a missing person report like that quickly. Snaps to Michelle.
Yes, no, I love parents who are so on top of it like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, sometimes those are the parents of the police who are like, it's fine.
The cops didn't think much of it, actually. They just assumed that Ashley was being a teenager and staying out, but they said there was just something in Michelle's voice, though.
I'm so glad that you say that part because sometimes I'm like, if these parents are that adamant this quickly, you should listen to them because there's
Absolutely.
parents who don't say anything for days and they're like, oh no, this is really serious.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Yeah, absolutely. So there was just something in her voice, and the police were like, okay, we're coming. We're coming.
all right.
Yeah. Then the police found Jeremy's car abandoned, and it was about 15 minutes away from Ashley's house. There were a little bit of conflicting reports here as well. One said that the car was found at around 11:30 p.m. that night. Another said it wasn't found for 8 hours.
Okay.
So,
Was the car found like in a neighborhood or like was it in like a weird like hidden kind of area or was it out in the open?
it was out in the open. It was
Okay.
not hidden at all.
Like parked on a street or in a parking lot or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The police searched the car and they found her gym bag in it with the basketball clothes. And for some reason, like that's what they found in there. And for some reason, finding the car with Ashley nowhere in sight, they instantly knew something sinister happened.
You know, I'm going to give props to these police officers because
Yeah.
generally they just write this officer being a teen.
Or runaway.
Yeah.
They
Like a
love throwing
runaway-
runaway out there so much.
I'm so surprised they haven't thrown that out here.
Absolutely. Now, who would the police suspect first?
The boyfriend.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah.
So, naturally, if something happens, they always go after the significant other. And it was his car that she had taken that she's now no longer with. So, it kind of makes sense. They brought him in for questioning, and he seemed so genuinely worried and concerned about her that the police found it pretty easy to like rule him out because of this. But now what?
Yeah.
Who else are you going to turn to?
Because, I mean, I can see them going after him because he would know what she's driving, where she's going. He's the one who even suggested she takes the car, so it would be easy.
Yeah.
But without that, I don't know. I personally don't know where I would start.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, while the police were chatting it up with Jeremy, Michelle and Ashley's little sister, Casey, decided, why don't we try to pull Ashley's phone records and see if there's anything that we can find? Like, I remember back in the day, I'm not sure how they do it now. Things are probably very different, but you were able to like go on your phone service's website and log in, and you can see what each phone plan was like doing, like incoming calls, outgoing calls. I'm pretty sure you could see text coming and going as well. You couldn't read the text, but it had the numbers at least.
Oh, trust me. Were you never presented with a printed out sheet of all of your cell phone history by your parents?
Mine was never printed out. I was just brought over to the computer. They were just like, come here, come here.
Oh, no. I remember getting presented with a stack
Oh,
and being able to go through it. Yeah.
how do they do it now? Everything's like, I don't know.
Give me your iCloud.
Maybe.
They just hack the iCloud.
What if you don't have an iPad or an iPod? Or what the fuck do we use?
Apple device.
Yeah, an iPhone.
Um,
God, I sound like my mother.
there's backups. I don't know.
Sorry, Mom.
There's a cloud. There's a cloud for everything. I think Android has their version of the cloud, but it's all backed up through like because
I know Google has backups.
so if you go back, Skylar Niece, her parents the FBI actually like requested it from Apple
Mm-hmm.
themselves, all the data and the information.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also go through like Verizon or T-Mobile and you can actually get all that data. They will send it to you. So you can still go through the phone companies for it. You just don't
Yeah.
view it online like you used to be able to when you used to have to pay for
I mean,
minutes and
maybe you
text.
still do, and we just
Don't know how to do that.
or we just we don't have a reason to.
No.
Get Nicole a phone. Do it then.
Yeah,
Don't give her a phone yet. I'm not ready for that.
I know.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
This is exactly what Casey and Michelle found. There was about 100 calls just that month to a number that neither of them recognized. So, what did they do?
Called the phone number.
Absolutely. Mommy Michelle called that number, and you would never believe who was on the other end of that phone call.
Who was it?
It was 26-year-old Samson Shelton.
Really quick, I want to say that if this would have happened now and not in 2006, somebody totally would have reverse Google searched that phone number instead of just calling it.
100%. 100%. Absolutely. So, okay then.
So who is Samson? Samson, is that what you said?
Samson is his name. He goes by Sam.
Sam. Okay, who's Sam?
I'll explain who Sam is in a minute. I'm going to tell you what the conversation was between Michelle and Sam first.
Oh,
Yep. Michelle was asking him if he knew her daughter and if he talked to her. And he said, no, she's probably, just out and she shouldn't worry about anything because it wasn't even 11 yet. And then he hung up.
wait, did he say that he knew who she was?
Yeah, he said So Michelle essentially had an idea of who he was. We'll get into it in a minute. But he said, yes, I know who your daughter is. No, I don't know where she is. She's probably just out. She's fine. It's not even
Okay.
11. And then he hung up on her before she could actually continue asking questions. So, that's a little sus.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Michelle, since she kind of knows who he is, she said she didn't feel very suspicious of him because she thought, oh, he's just being a good influence. And she was just like, okay, honestly, I think I'm just more worried about Ashley because it's getting cold outside.
Yeah, I'm just going to chalk this up to everything happening in the moment and her not thinking straight with that piece of information.
Probably.
Yeah.
So, if you don't know this story, I know you're super confused right now. So,
We're going to get there.
I sure am. But let me tell you exactly who Samson Shelton is. Sammy boy. Sam Shelton is a teacher at a different high school in the county, so other than the one that Ashley went to. I kept finding super conflicting information, like exactly what he did. So he was either a PE teacher or the driver's ed teacher, but he for sure was the wrestling coach. He also had a fantasy about wanting to be a professional wrestler. And I don't think like mat wrestler. I think like
WWE.
yeah, because he had a name for like a stage name.
Oh, what is it?
He called himself the teacher.
Shut up.
Yeah. So. Okay.
You gonna eraser clap you? I'm sorry.
I liked it. So, however, he was a PE coach in a middle school.
Okay.
So he worked at a middle school sometimes too. But he actually was also Ashley's teacher when she was in 7th grade. So
Okay.
that's how that
They know each
connection
other.
is there.
None of it's okay. It's all still super weird and creepy, but go on.
Yeah. So he was a really popular teacher also. His students absolutely loved him, and the rest of the staff also loved him, said he was amazing. He was described as polite, outgoing, friendly, and an all around great guy. He loved sports and staying active, so he was on a bunch of different leagues for sports, which also included fast pitch softball league. He lived with his mom and grandma.
Okay.
And he was very close with them. He would often be seen doing chores for them, like mowing the lawn and basically maintaining the property. Some of the female students at his school said that they thought he was kind of creepy and full of himself, but others said that a lot of female students had a crush on him. To be fair, he was a pretty good looking guy.
And a younger teacher, and
Yeah,
we've all been in school and there's a young teacher and they're somewhat attractive and it's obnoxious.
I could tell you stories.
Yeah,
I'll tell you a story after this.
I have one for you too.
Fantastic. Okay.
Okay.
So again, he was a pretty good looking guy and he actually welcomed that attention that he was getting from them.
Ew.
I know. So, Friday afternoon, the 24-hour mark came of her last being seen, and Michelle said that she knew Ashley was dead and she was never going to see her again.
Okay.
She said, quote, "I want to crawl into a hole and never come out. This is the worst feeling."
Oh.
I know. The police had already ruled out Jeremy pretty quickly due to his demeanor
Yeah.
and the fact that he was actually out of town that evening as well.
Okay.
They did start interviewing some of Ashley's friends and just like other people at the school. Her friends, though, a couple of them told the police that Ashley had been keeping a secret, a pretty
Okay.
deep secret. She had been romantically involved with an older man. She would never tell them who it was, but I'm pretty sure we fucking know who it is.
Yeah, I don't like where this is going.
Yeah. So, with there being hundreds of phone calls and text messages between Sam and Ashley, and then all the information from her friends on top of it, this made the police raise an eyebrow and bring Sammy in for questioning.
Yeah.
They actually picked him up at the high school where he was about to start baseball practice. So, Sam did admit to being her teacher in 7th grade and that they recently reconnected back in February of 2006, so just that February, at a Mardi Gras parade. So, again, couple of
Creepy as
months,
shit. 3 months? Okay.
probably not even a full 3 months.
Okay.
So, yeah. He said that their relationship was completely harmless. Nothing had ever happened between them. They were just friends and they would just meet up sometimes to go play basketball. He said that the most they had ever done was give hugs goodbye and that he just didn't really talk to her the past couple of days and he just had a normal routine of going to work and going out dancing one night, so on and so forth.
Okay.
Okay? Please keep in mind for the future of what I'm about to tell you, because I don't mention it in here. She goes missing on Thursday. He went to work Friday morning all day. Okay? The police said that while he was being interviewed, he was very polite and cooperative, but they just didn't like him and his answers or his body language. They were just like,
Just something was off.
There's actually a video of the interview, and he was very calm during it. It was like a little strange how calm he
Like
was.
eerily calm.
Yeah. Yeah. We will link the video down below. I'm not playing a piece of it because it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. Couldn't even choose. So I do feel like this is a point that I should tell you this. Sam didn't really have a record. Like, he had no felonies, but he did plead guilty to a misdemeanor charge in 2001 for theft of a retail store for stealing a bottle of vodka and a 12-pack of Budweiser.
Okay.
Yeah. I would think that,
Chalking it to broke college kid life. Because if this is 06,
5 years.
5 years, and
When-
21. Yeah, so broke college kid life.
Probably just turned 21.
Just turned 21.
Well, it was also on New Year's Eve that he did it, so.
Oh, yeah, probably had to go
Definitely
do
broke.
the liquor run or something. Oh, yeah. Broke college kid.
So,
Not excusing it, but it just puts more context for that random
that's true. That's true.
thing.
I would think that someone with the smallest amount of experience with the police may have been a bit more on edge, especially if there was a missing student that he has clearly been talking to. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? Right? So, all of a sudden, his story is changing. After being there for hours, some details were being added that weren't there before, or things were missing, or his entire story would change on what was going on. The police did confront him also about what Ashley's friend had said about her being in a sexual relationship with an older man. This is where he completely switched and starts blaming Ashley.
Okay.
He claims that she was just obsessed with him and she would call him all the time and he was just trying to avoid her, hoping she would just leave him alone.
Right.
That's what the block button's for, babe. Side note,
Could we block people back then on cell phones?
I have no idea. Probably.
Anyway, I'm
Does someone
curious about
have
that.
a
Did we have the
sidekick?
ability to
Let
block
me
people
know.
back then?
I think so. I want to say
I
yes.
never did it.
I don't know.
I don't know. Moving on.
Okay. So, quick side note, really quick though. Ashley's best friend, Christy Baumgartner's her name, said she believes that it was actually, don't laugh.
Mhm.
I had to say it. I had to. She actually believes that it was the other way around. She believes that Sam was actually obsessed with Ashley and that she was trying to call things off with Sam.
That's more believable for me.
Yeah.
Because she had a boyfriend. I mean, which doesn't really mean anything. It's really great cover for a high school kid.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on this.
Okay.
We'll touch on our
We'll touch
thoughts
on
in
it
a
at the
minute.
end.
Yeah. So oh my God, lead detective Captain Stephen Johnson now enters the chat. He knew Sam from a program called the Explorer Program. It's honestly just kind of reminds me of like the Boy Scouts, but with law enforcement.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he figured since he knew Sam, he would be able to break down some of his walls and his barriers, and he actually played this like very, very well. He was talking to Sam just like a couple of besties
Okay.
instead of, the whole cop, like a good cop
Yeah.
type persona. He was like calling him out like left and right though on all of his lies and all of his changing stories. He finally looks at Sam and says to him, "Tell me about the mistakes, Sam. Tell me about the mistakes."
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. So, Sam, also, it's really weird saying my name this much. I say it more. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. So, Sam admits that like that night, they like started touching each other. However, Sam says, quote, "I will say this. We never kissed, but yes, we did have sex in the back of the vehicle there."
I've been really waiting for you to say that because that's probably one of my favorite things from the WTF episode because
We didn't
that
kiss.
has just stayed in my head. Like what an odd thing to say.
There was a little bit more to this quote that we didn't put in the WTF.
Okay.
Yikes. Okay. He did say he felt terrible about it. And then he said, quote, "I feel almost like I took advantage of a 17-year-old girl."
Oh my god, that makes it so much worse.
Isn't that eerie? Like, in what world is having sex
Better
like
than
better than kissing in this
yeah.
situation?
Like I would
With a student, like I understand she's no longer your student, but she is still considered underage.
It's like
You are still a teacher. What the fuck?
it's like Barry admitting to tranking deer to take their horns, to admitting to one crime so that he doesn't admit to the murder part.
Yeah.
You know, like he's all I did this one.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know why they make it sound like, why do they think this is going to make it better?
Just like Montgomery did the exact same shit.
Yeah.
So, but he continued on saying that it had only ever happened one time. And he told Ashley that she shouldn't say anything because he was worried about being a sex offender.
Because he is one.
He, he's something. So, Captain Johnson basically told him that we know you know what happened to her, and the evidence is proving it as well. Just tell us. Sam told them that Ashley told him she wanted a more serious relationship with him, and he just like wasn't willing to do that. So he wanted to meet up and break things off with her because you obviously have to do that in person
Right.
with a fling type.
Yeah.
I don't know. So he told her to meet up with him at Latterman Park around 3:45 or 4 p.m. So I think the whole job interview was,
Meeting with him.
I think so.
I mean, it's good cover.
I get it. He said that they were just like driving up and down the road as he was explaining to her that they couldn't be together anymore. And she was just screaming and yelling at him the whole time. He said he didn't want to listen to it anymore and pulled over and told her to get out of the car. But she wouldn't. So he puts the car in park, walks over to the door, pulls it open, pulls her out, and just gets back in the car and leaves. She's alive at this point, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he just leaves the car somewhere?
Oh, this wasn't Jeremy's car. This was his car.
Okay.
So I have a feeling.
It's just his version of stuff.
Yes. I have a feeling he like picked her up and she like got in his car and they were driving. So.
Or, well, sometimes it's really fun when you listen to their version of events to just switch the two roles and hear them explain what they did. Because if you switch them in that story, it makes way more sense.
I know.
That she tried to break it off and he screamed and threw a fit and wouldn't get out of the car.
Yeah. So he said he didn't hurt her because he has a very weak stomach, so he couldn't have been able to do anything to her. He said he really cared about her and was just concerned for her safety.
That's a really weird way to say I didn't murder anyone.
I know. He went on to say that after he had left her on the side of the road at a park, alive, in the dark, he drove straight to a bar called Wild Country, about 30 minutes away. The police actually confirmed that he was indeed at the bar this night. Not by security footage or anything, but because on Thursday nights, the television show St. Louis Country is filmed there. So he is on video, line dancing. People who worked at the bar said that Sam was actually a regular there on Thursdays, so it didn't seem like out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Police went through his phone records, and lo and behold, Sammy boy was actually texting another girl from Ashley's school that night while he was at the bar. Yeah. Disgusting.
I mean, I already know what actually happened, so therefore, like, that's wild.
I'm going to read to you what this text message said.
Okay.
All right. So this text said it was sent at 11:26 p.m. All right. It says,
Okay.
"For real, I really like you. You are a sweet girl."
Yeah, I just threw up Chick-fil-A in my mouth.
No, not the Chick-fil-A.
Ugh.
Yeah. At this point, Captain Johnson was so over it. He was done being Mr. Nice Guy. So he said to Sam, "What would your grandma say about all of this?"
Not Granny.
Granny.
Not Granny.
He brought up Granny. Okay.
Dang.
Sam responded by saying he just wanted to go home and explain it all to his mom and his grandma. And the captain
I feel
said,
like that is like the key phrase that every investigator detective, like in their training, they go, and once they say that they just want to go home, you've got them. As soon as they say it, you're getting the confession. Because I swear, it's every time they say that, we get a confession right afterwards.
"Oh, you actually,
Is that crazy?
I just want to go home."
Mm-hmm. Or I want to.
You know what?
I want to tell you. It's in it, and also the other part is, I want to go talk to them about it. I'll tell you about it. I'll talk to you about it. It's always the I want to go home and I just want to talk to this person. My dad, my mom, somebody.
You know what? There's another case I want to talk to you about. Not
We'll
on
do it
here.
afterwards.
We'll talk later. Okay. So, the captain responded to Sam saying, quote, "Well, they aren't here, but in a way, they are here. Because everything they taught you is within you, and you're not telling us the truth. And you have to. For them, Sam. For them." I'm sorry. I can't say that with like, I can't.
But
I
sometimes you
understand.
have to like some of the things investigators have to say to get people
I
to say
know.
things.
I know. And like I understand like yes, I don't personally know these people. So like maybe like he knew exactly that's what's going to get him or just like he maybe had a connection with his mom and grandma
Yeah.
because it is such an actual small town. Um but like I'm
No,
sorry.
it's fine. But did it work?
Sam starts breaking down crying.
There we go.
And finally, after 12 hours of questioning, 12 hours, people, Sam finally tells them the truth.
Uh,
Alleged truth.
okay.
Most of it.
Okay.
So, he said everything leading up to him leaving her, like on the side of the road, was completely real. But when she was refusing to get out of the car, he reached over, unlocked her seatbelt, came around, and started pulling her out of the vehicle. He said she was holding on to the center console as leverage, so he had to be very forceful with her. He said he had to use all of his force to get her out. He went on to say when he finally got her, he was holding her in front of him,
Mm-hmm.
so like her back to his stomach, and he squeezed her.
Okay.
Captain Johnson asked him, like, did she hit her head? And Sam said, quote, no, her neck. I pulled too hard. End quote. He said he heard a pop on her neck and she fell limp, but like she was still breathing. So he said, I did the stupidest thing. I did the stupidest thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said. That's all he kept saying. But he said he like drove away also. He said he wasn't in Save Ashley mode. He was in Save Sam mode.
Obviously.
He said he knows he should have taken her to the hospital, but that's not what was on his mind at the time.
No, line
So,
dancing was.
yeah. Gotta get on the TV show. It's
Gotta go get my line dance
Thursday.
on. Boot, scoot, and boogie.
Ooh. So he drove off, drove into like a secluded area, and he took his belt, put it around her neck, and he started pulling.
Okay.
Okay. He said he didn't know how long he was actually pulling on that belt because like, nothing was happening. She was already limp from prior. So he was just pulling and pulling and pulling. But he said he also had to look away while he was doing this. So maybe a little like weak stomach thing may have been true, but also, sir, you're strangling someone.
After you already basically pulled her out of the car by her head.
Yeah. But then he said he heard a gurgle sound. And once he heard the sound, he stopped pulling. But then he went on to say that he decided he needed to use his foot as leverage to choke her with the belt. So he put his foot on her neck and continued pulling the belt. And he was just pulling and pulling and pulling. He was actually pulling this belt so hard with his foot on her throat that the belt snapped and broke.
Holy shit.
He said he did that until she wasn't breathing anymore. He then tells police that when he like drug her body out into a dense wooded area. So he did all of this near his car. So he takes her out to the wooded area and he actually wrapped something around her throat so it looks like someone else had strangled her out in the woods. Captain Johnson uh like was just sitting there and was just like, that's it. We have our confession.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they needed. However, they still don't know where Ashley is. We don't know where Ashley is. He didn't tell us where, and he's actually kind of still refusing to tell him where the body is. But finally, he gave them, and he finally told them where he was. By the time that they had this information, the sun had set 2 times since anyone had last seen Ashley. And like I said earlier, the temperatures were really low. They were getting into their 40s, maybe even a little bit lower at times. But it had also rained by the time that the police were getting any of this information.
Okay.
Sam had agreed to actually go with the police to tell them exactly where he left Ashley. And thankfully, the police videotaped all of this, like, and they had their body cam footages. Thankfully. It's
So like we have video footage outside of body cams. Nice. All right.
it's crazy. When they actually get out to the forest where he had claimed that he left her, it was super dark at this point, and they were just having a really hard time, like, actually finding her, pinpointing exactly where she was. But then, finally, after 45 minutes of searching, one officer saw her body laying on the ground. She looked limp, and she was just covered in thousands of bug bites. And her arms were laying super awkward, kind of like at her side, but above her. And one of them was like laying on her.
Okay.
Whew, uh, as you're like watching the footage, you can see like how awful she looks. And I personally couldn't imagine being one of those police officers finding her in that kind of condition, finding anyone in that condition.
They knew what to expect too, which is even worse. You already you know what you're looking for as well.
Absolutely. So after looking over her body and looking at her wounds and trying to find the best way to get her out of this forest, they noticed something. Her chest was rising, like she was breathing.
There's no way.
That's
I mean,
what
I already know, but there's just like every time I hear it,
I know.
it's amazing to me.
And that's when you hear on the footage, oh my God, she's breathing. She's breathing. I actually want to play a clip for you guys really quick. In this moment of them finding her body and saying that she's breathing. Please keep in mind you may see her body. We're going to do our best to not have her actual body on it just because it's very jarring. But I want you guys to hear, oh my God, she's breathing. So you can skip through this part if you want. It's not going to be very long. And we will also have the full length video below if you want to watch all of it. Okay?
You guys see anything underneath that?
It's the walk every policeman dreads.
We knew that this was not going to be a happy outcome.
Deep into the dark woods in search of a body, knowing the gruesome nightmare they'll find.
Stand by, I'm on a 21.
Led there by a suspected killer who's not only told them where to find his victim, but how he killed her.
He used his foot for leverage to choke as hard as he could, and the belt broke.
Hey, shine your light at that tree over there.
Police cameras are rolling as the search party stalks through the tangled overgrowth to a clearing and the body of 17-year-old Ashley Reeves.
Oh, hey, right there.
She's breathing. She's breathing. Get EMT. Get EMTs.
It has been 30 hours since she was reported missing. Just reported missing, not actually missing. So I would suspect it's about 36, 37 hours at this point.
Which is insane because whenever we did the WTF episode where I had known, I think I had heard about it before, but I hadn't heard like actual details because I knew that she had lived. But in that episode, my timeline was, it was the next day she was found. Like they brought him in for questioning like Friday morning and they found her like Friday afternoon. I didn't realize that she was missing Thursday night and they didn't find her till like Saturday early hours, right? You said the sunset 2 times. So Thursday night, Friday night. So like
They were out there at
evening.
after dark.
Yeah, after dark. Like that's, I didn't realize that he had gone to work for a whole day and then did this. I thought that it was a more
we also
immediate
questioned him for
timeline.
12 hours before they even went out.
Yeah, and so that's why like I thought it was like, I thought he started getting questioned Friday morning.
Got it.
Not Friday like after school. You know what I mean? Like I didn't think it was afternoon. I thought it was in the morning. So like my 12 hours put us at like evening before the sun.
So he was at work on Friday morning. Yes. If it was 12 hours, they probably still brought him in for questioning like Friday afternoonish.
Yeah.
But he still woke up, went to work at 8 a.m. at a school.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And just the conditions and 30 hours in that condition and
in the cold, and it's in the middle of
it's incredible
time, and
The rain.
It's enough for bugs to be out. Oh, God, I can't. So, she's alive.
Which is amazing.
She is alive after being out there in these conditions for 36 hours. As soon as the detectives found her, they rushed over to her and they grabbed her hand and started talking to her, telling her that she's all right. It's going to be okay. We're going to get you taken care of. At this point, this was no longer a recovery. It was a rescue. And the detectives in this case have said that this moment has changed the way that they looked at all future cases, that they had become just so much more aware. And instead of just being like, oh, this person's dead.
Like, because even her own mom assumed
Absolutely.
that she was dead.
Yeah.
Her mom was already like, and this is, I mean, her mom wasn't wrong.
Yes.
Like, they say that, like, as a mom, like, they say that you get that feeling. Like, you just, like Kelsey Schelling's mom. She just, the car, and then the feeling that came over her when they found the car without her, she goes, I know she's not here anymore. Moms have that superpower, but it's so rare when they're wrong.
To be fair, she should have been.
Yeah, she was very, very, very close to death. So therefore, I see why her mom felt that way.
Yeah. So when the paramedics finally showed up, they told Captain Johnson that they didn't think she was even going to make it out of the woods. They had actually had to take chainsaws to clear a path for them to be able to get the ambulance to her body. And unfortunately, this took another hour to do before they could transport her.
I understand that he described what he did to her neck and everything at that point, but can we not just like really set her neck and backboard her out of there? Did we have to get the ambulance all the way in there?
I feel the same way.
Like, I feel like they could have gotten her out a lot quicker.
I know.
With that.
I agree.
And my reference point on this is I was at Girl Scout camp on an overnight with the horses and I got hit in the head with a rock and they carted me out that way instead of trying to get an ambulance up there. So I know it's already happened, but I just thought, sorry.
No, I get it. I completely understand right there. So, yes. Have you ever heard of the golden hour? And I'm not meaning in photography, I'm meaning in trauma. Have you ever heard of that term?
Yes, but I don't remember what it means.
Okay. So the golden hour is the first hour after trauma happens. This is the best time frame for doctors to be able to basically keep you alive and to keep like further issues down the road from happening. So
we are way past that hour.
Really past that hour. So, yes, Ashley is alive and she's breathing, but unfortunately, she is not responsive at all. And she's also been out in the cold for over 36 hours. Her body is freezing at this point, and she has barely any oxygen going to her brain. Please keep in mind also, she was strangled 3 separate times.
Yeah.
And her neck was broken. Okay? All of the doctors did not think she was going to make it through the night since she was in such critical condition. But as they slowly started to warm her body up, her condition started improving. So they moved her from critical condition to serious condition.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool.
That's a step.
Yeah. Even though she was improving, she didn't have a pain response, nor did she have a blink response. So they decided to put her into a coma.
Okay.
Okay. They did speculate as to whether, like, after all of this, if she was going to remain in a vegetative state or if she would be a quadriplegic or paraplegic. Like, they did not think she was going to.
No, like, those are the best outcomes that you could have
at
that point.
With a broken neck, limited oxygen to the brain, being for almost.
At this point, it's what version of Ashley wakes up, not if Ashley wakes up.
So police do go and tell Ashley's family that they had found her and just everything that has happened to her. They rush to her side. Michelle said that as Ashley came out of her coma, as she came out of her coma, she just started screaming.
Oh, God.
Yeah, she just started screaming, and she didn't stop screaming for almost a week.
Well, her vocal cords are fine.
Yeah, she couldn't move or speak. All she could do was scream and cry. Ashley even says that she couldn't remember anything. All she could remember was crying, and that her aunt came up to her and said to her, quote, "I know you're in there, and I know you can hear me, and I'm tired of you acting like this. So if you can hear me, I know. So if you can hear me, bite my finger." She put her finger into Ashley's mouth, and Ashley bit down as hard as she could. Her aunt then yelled, hold on. Her aunt then yelled, "I knew you were in there."
Why is that some shit I would do?
That is some shit you
Did
would
you
do.
not think of me the whole time writing that out? Because
100% I did.
honestly, like, that is some shit I would do.
I'm fucking sick of your shit. Get it
Yes!
together.
Like, 1000%, because, not kidding,
Yeah.
yelled that at Sean.
Yeah.
No, but that is something I would do. Like, but hey, it worked.
It did.
Aunties for the win.
Absolutely. Ashley's recovery was anything but easy. She had to learn how to basically being a human being again. She had to learn how to eat, drink, swallow, and at one point she felt like there was no way she was going to get back to the person she was before.
I mean, being a teenager is already hard enough, and now you have to relearn everything.
She also had to relearn how to walk and talk again. It took her months, but she did finally regain full use of her body. Of course, she will never be the same as she was prior to, especially because she was such an athlete before.
Yeah.
But at least she gave a big fuck you to the doctors who told her she would never be able to do it again.
And how is she, like, mentally?
Getting into that
Okay.
next.
Just because that's like, we don't know how long there was a lack of oxygen to her brain, if there was lack of oxygen to her, like, you know what I mean?
Okay, so for that part, she was very cognitive.
Okay.
Yeah. She was speaking, she was talking, she was her, ultimately. She just couldn't remember a lot.
Okay. So just memory issues, which...
Correct. Yeah. And then it just, of course, so I didn't put this in here either, but Michelle basically said, like, because she was having to relearn everything, she felt like she had a baby book for her. Like, oh, she took her first steps again. She said her first word again. But I still feel like she was still overcoming all these milestones, but she was still herself.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So, on to this part.
Okay.
Of course, people are going to ask her, what the fuck happened, dude?
But she can't remember.
She cannot. She cannot remember anything about the attack.
Does she remember, like, the hours leading up to it or anything? Or, like, weeks? Or are we just, like...
So, let me read this and then
Okay.
we'll do theories on it. She was in complete disbelief that Sam would try to do anything like this to her. So she actually requested to see the video and all of the photos from when they found her. She said that it was super hurtful for her to see because she thought that they were super good friends and that they were really close, but he just dumped her in the woods and decided to go out dancing. She was perplexed to think about everything that he had told the police as well. She said that they weren't physical and that they never argued. So she doesn't know why or what happened to where he would have gone to this point of trying to hurt her. She definitely says that there was nothing romantic or physical between them because she was in a serious relationship with Jeremy. But she did say that because they were spending so much time together and talking so frequently that they grew close. Again, she still denies that they had any type of physical relationship. I understand to a point, and I'll explain that in a little bit, and you might get on the same wavelength as I am, but I do also feel that, like, her friend said that she was having a relationship.
Okay, so...
I mean, unless, like, she was just trying to make it seem to her friend, like, I'm with an older guy.
So that's where I was kind of going to next a little bit. Teenagers will
Yeah.
totally try to brag and embellish and whatever with their friends. So I could definitely see where she's talking to him and doing that. And if whatnot, and she could just like say that, or her friend assumed that because she was talking to an older guy or something like that, or hi, teenage girls, that friend could have been jealous.
If that friend was jealous, though, why wouldn't she just go to her boyfriend?
Valid. So,
Because
but
Jeremy didn't know about any of this.
so here's my thought process on what she remembers
Mm-hmm.
and her. So she remembers a lot of details about him and how nice and how sweet and all that stuff was.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not discounting that.
Yeah.
That's all could be very well and true in like what she remembers, but the brain is a very interesting part of us, and it will block out or erase things or make you not,
Especially trauma.
so very well, because of how much trauma happened, her brain could very much be bubbling around the argument that was had that day, that evening, and so
Maybe.
she does not remember that argument. And so what she has left in her memory is everything before that day where they were fine. But
Could be.
it could also be that he was wanting something more sexually and she wasn't wanting to give it to him. And that's how this happened, which is why she's confused
Mm-hmm.
as to his interview.
Mm-hmm.
Because at this point, I don't think, like, he tried to kill her. We have to relearn how to do everything. It wasn't just a little like, oh, he got a little violent with her one day. Like, baby girl, we almost died.
Yeah.
So I don't really see her sitting there protecting him or trying to lie about her relationship she had with him to save herself. Because at this point, like, what are we saving? Like, put his ass away.
I'm going to pause you for a minute. Let's talk about our theories in a minute.
Okay.
I have some
I'm
more
just curious.
details for
Like,
you.
it's just her memory thing. Like, I don't want to make it weird. Like, she's like picking and choosing what she remembers, but at the same time, like, I'm in, like, she has a brain fog. I'm just, the memory
I
thing
have
is
some-
catching me
I
right
have
now.
some information I'm going to give you.
Okay.
Here. So we'll do theories in a minute, okay? So they arrest Sam, of course, for attempted murder and bring him in to start booking him. And he was just like being a complete pain in the ass. He keeps asking like if he can get his contact solution. And they're like, probably not.
You're gonna get glasses now, bro.
I know. And he was just acting like offended and like appalled that he wasn't going to be able to take his contacts out. He then asked them, and I quote, "Am I going to get my own little private toilet? Because I can't pee when there's people around because of my urinary stress disorder." Yeah. Captain Johnson tells him, like, "I don't know. I'll ask them, but I can't guarantee anything." So then Sam says, "Well, I hope so, because I'll be miserable if I can't pee." Like, sir, kindly fuck off.
I just really enjoy that people who do things like this always have the most ridiculous and outlandish requests for prison.
So while awaiting trial, he was released on bond.
Oh, so that he could pee in private?
Yeah.
And take his contacts out.
Yeah.
Oh, nice try.
There was conflicting issues on this too, and I didn't get to look further. So his bond was either 800,000 or $1 million, but he got it and he got out. So he also,
what does mom and grandma do? Dang.
I don't know, dude. So he did also put his resignation in at the school and was planning on staying through the rest of the year, but the district was basically like, no fucking way, my dude.
No, thank you. Bye.
Bye. And the community was just absolutely dumbfounded when they heard about this attack. Sam was the all-American boy to them. How could he have ever done something like this? His mother was also super, super hurt by this news.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Also, his best friend said that in situations like this, it affects people more than the two people that were involved. It affects all of the family and their friends. Which, like, it's true.
I mean, it does, but what a very self-centered thing to say. Like, sir,
I'm
you
very
didn't almost get
affected by
murdered.
this.
You almost didn't get murdered. Like, I'm so sorry that you were besties with a.
To be fair, if you murdered someone, and one, you didn't tell me about it, and two, I find out later.
You would just be more offended that you didn't know about it in the moment.
Okay, if I was a normal person though, and and I found out about this, I would be upset. Not just, it would be in disbelief more than anything, I think.
Oh, I'm really proud that you, like, oh, that makes me feel so good. You don't think I could murder anybody?
So, the Monday after the attack happened, administrators at Ashley's school told all the students what happened, of course, and they said that they had counseling ready for anyone who needed it. And multiple students took full advantage of this, like not in a bad way, but they just like really reached out, like not only for themselves, but Ashley's friends and Jeremy and all of these people who loved Ashley dearly. At Sam's school, they held a meeting with the teachers to let them know what happened. Like, also, how crazy would that meeting have been? Especially because they loved him so much.
I want to know which teachers in there always had a creepy vibe for him or didn't like him, because if me and you were teachers at that school and we had that feeling, you in the back of that room be like, I told you.
We probably wouldn't even say that. We would just be sitting there hearing it and just be like, anyway, so most of them were obviously very shocked and just like didn't believe it happened. They did also send notes home with the students to their parents and offered counseling to them as well. But no one did any counseling there, which personally is wild to me, especially if he,
Don't shit where you eat.
pretty much. But like some of the other girls, I'm not getting into it. Okay, moving on. Many people reached out to Ashley to see how she was, and they were just being super supportive of her. She said that she was touched by all of it. However, as everyone knows, not everyone has the same thoughts and ideas, especially since so many people believed Sam was just an amazing person. They obviously never saw his face, no, this 2006, they never saw his MySpace page, which I have seen screenshots of it. His MySpace page, I'm sorry, I have to mention this part, you guys. He said in there his hobbies included pornography and touching prostitutes. He followed many students, especially females, on his MySpace page. Like,
he's the reason we couldn't become friends with our teachers on Facebook till we graduated.
Probably. Wait, you tried that?
Okay. Never mind.
We're not going to get into it. But I want to know, what the hell did his top 8 look like?
I want to know. Local prostitutes ranked.
Best friend number 2.
Listen, as a teacher, this is a public profile.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, you guys, his MySpace has been taken down. There are still MySpace pages out there. You can find your own MySpace if you're able to. Like, some of them, not all of them.
I wasn't allowed to have MySpace, so I used a fake email account, and I can't remember what it's under, but Mike could log into his email, or his MySpace, and I really enjoyed it, because there's pictures of him wearing grills, like Paul Wall grills. Yeah. But listen, I wish I could access my MySpace. I wish I could access it.
Me too. So I know if you go onto the actual MySpace page, you can search for it just by your name.
So once again, I wasn't allowed to have it, so I have to, like, I think I know what my name was on it.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure what my name was on it, because I didn't use my name.
You guys also, I've known her husband longer than I've known her. I would love to see those.
Oh, I have it. We might even throw it up here in a little thing.
We're not going to put Mike up here.
Okay. You wouldn't even recognize him now anyway. But...
oh my god, I love that.
Yeah, you've known him longer than me, so you know that he used to dress like a crayon. One color.
Yeah, he did. Red. Or yellow.
Red. It's shoes, socks, shorts,
He always wore an Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man with his red shorts
Yeah.
and his red socks and his red Nikes. That's what he was wearing when I met him.
I know. I'm so sorry, you guys. We're moving on. Again, his MySpace has been taken down. It's gone. It's gone. Trust me. I looked. But there is a forum out there that does have screenshots out in the interwebs somewhere. So if you really want to do some digging, good luck. Okay. So
I bet you the song that played whenever you clicked on his MySpace page was Crazy Bitch by Buck Cherry.
Oh, mine was instantly I'm a Flirt by R. Kelly. Was it R. Kelly?
Yeah, that's R. Kelly. I'm a flirt.
Yep. So.
Interesting choice of artist to talk about during this case.
Oh
my
God.
God.
But also, no, I wasn't saying that that was my song. Well, actually, would probably be my MySpace song at one point, but I bet you that that was his MySpace song when you clicked on his page.
We need to move on. So, Ashley said she was super torn down by people in the community, like some people in the community. They were blaming her for the attack and saying that she did something to provoke him. Like,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Did they just like listen to the same story that we just listened to? Because
I know. So I'm not saying she's lying at all, but this could be why she also denies the relationship, like a physical relationship with him, like may or may not have actually happened. Also, people are just nasty, and victim blaming is not okay, especially in this situation.
victim shaming is never okay, and
Yeah.
I don't care how much of a pillar to the community he is. He could literally donate hundreds of $1,000s a year to the orphans living on the side of the street, but that does not mean that he cannot do things like this.
Yes, pedophile is still a pedophile,
Yes.
no matter which way you look at it.
No matter who it is.
So, oh, and some people would even prank call their home. And so, like, Michelle is generally the one that answers. And so they would call him, do you know where your daughters are now? And then just hang up.
I will never understand the kind of human beings who think it's okay to do things like this. The people who think it's funny, who think it's a joke, who think it's a prank, like,
This is someone's life that was almost lost. And someone's daughter who's almost got, like,
I swear those
gone.
people have just never gone through anything.
That's
Because
probably exactly what it is.
it's just, it blows my mind how often this happens in these cases.
Yeah. Absolutely. So Ashley did also say that one of the hardest parts about all of this was people would constantly say to her, poor Sam.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not.
To her.
To her. Yep. So, as I mentioned prior, she did physical therapy at the St. Louis hospital for months. She, again, has made a full recovery. However, she still does have a hard time speaking and walking a bit, but she's getting stronger every single day, which is awesome. However, I do now have to get back to Sam and the trial that happened.
Okay.
His attorneys were actually trying to get his confession thrown out since he was never read his Miranda rights.
I'm gonna really, really, really need this to not be a reason to appeal anymore. Because we've already done like 2 episodes where this was used in either trying to get them out of charges, Brittany Norwood, because she was a victim in her interviews. I'm sorry, if you're sitting in a police interview room and they're recorded, everything can be used. Like,
Yeah, I agree. The judge ruled against it, which, again, to me is just a little odd since he was very clearly being treated as a suspect at this time. I feel like they probably should have read his rights to him, but doesn't matter.
I feel like that shouldn't be a thing.
Rights?
No, like having to be read your Miranda rights in order for something to be used in trial.
I feel like at this point, anytime someone comes in for questioning, just read their rights to him on camera.
Because
anytime. It's going to be your safest bet.
But
like victim, suspect, it doesn't matter. Read the fucking rights to him really quick and move on about your day.
So, yeah, because like if I'm being brought in as a witness to be questioned.
Yeah. Just have your rights read to you. It's not that hard.
I know, like I feel like one, yes, they should read everybody's right to them. But if you're being brought in question, I feel like if anything that you're being questioned is going to be used in this investigation and it can be used. So therefore, it's allowed in trial and everything else. I say that's like the number one thing they're using to get out of stuff. Absolutely. And sometimes it works.
Yeah. I'm also surprised that they're just allowing that as the confession and didn't make him do like a written confession.
That's also shocking as well, especially after they went out there and like found her. Yeah. I'm really impressed they didn't make him sign a written confession.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter because the judge was like, nah, fuck that. We're using this confession.
Good.
So, since the confession was allowed, his lawyers decided that the best plan of action for him to take was a plea deal. So he then pleaded guilty to first-degree attempted murder and was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
That's it.
Yay! It's attempted murder.
I know. 20 years. And what year was that?
2007?
2007? Oh, geez.
I like 2006 because it was right away.
Yeah.
2006?
He's out, isn't he?
Sam became eligible for parole earlier this year.
Yes.
He was granted parole and was released on April 22nd of 2024.
Which is how y'all found out about him in the WTF, because rage of the outward kind.
Steroid rage? Roid rage?
No, just rage of the outward nature.
Good. Good. I had no information on him back when we did the WTF back in June. And unfortunately, I still have zero information.
It's really hard to find information on them once they get out of prison, because I don't know. Obviously, if you're smart and not Gypsy Rose, you shut the fuck up and go hide.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
What?
whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on a second.
I'm not saying that we're not enjoying this, but I'm also
Have
saying
you watched?
I haven't watched it because I don't have a way to watch it.
I'll give you my login.
Please do.
It's juicy, girl.
Okay, but listen, like because remember we tried to find information on Crystal Lee.
Mm-hmm. We tried to
And
find information about a
quite
lot of
few
people
who have been paroled or just completely released, and it's so hard. I mean, understandably, I don't know if they changed their name. I don't know if they just completely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing shit.
I agree. I understand. But yeah, I can't find anything. I can't. Like, I personally, I just want to know what the hell he's doing with his life now. So, but.
Not being a teacher.
You're damn right about that. So, Elizabeth Smart actually interviewed Ashley.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't that interesting? Yes. That
You would think that it would be the other way around, but
yeah.
Okay, I like this.
Yeah. So she actually did a whole interview. It's a pretty long interview, and it was just explaining basically everything that I just went through and just touching a little bit more on her life and everything like that now. So I
and
will make sure. Go
If
ahead.
you've never listened to Elizabeth Smart speak, go do.
Please.
I love every time she talks.
Do we want to do a story on her?
I don't know. I've thought about it. You guys let us know how you feel about it. She's very well known.
She's very if you don't know who Elizabeth Smart is, man.
And honestly, I do believe it's Crime Junkies. They do like a whole episode or a 2-part episode, and they actually interview her for the whole episode. And so that's really good if you guys want to go listen to her on one. Like, I almost don't want to do one on her because of how well they do it interviewing her.
To talk to her.
Yes, and so it's so good. So I would really suggest that.
Mm-hmm.
But we might, some of those really big, more famous ones that everyone knows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're going to touch on those too much.
Maybe not, unless it's close to home.
Yeah.
So, however, this video we're going to link below, don't you worry. But yeah, let me just tell you a little bit I know about Ashley, okay? So today, Ashley is married with 2 children. A lot of people speculate that her and Jeremy actually got married. And even if you Google who she's married to, the name Jeremy Smith pops up. But I don't think that's true. There were some sources that I read that actually say that he broke up with her after all of the cheating allegations and the attempted murder and everything like that. I don't know. There was another article that said she was married to someone named Danny. So...
But I also understand her very much keeping her life private and not having any of that information out there, not allowing people to get a hold of that information, really.
Absolutely.
Especially with how she was treated afterwards.
Absolutely. But she is happy and she is thriving from what we can tell. And again, she does value her privacy. So, like...
Yes.
I totally
and I get that.
I totally understand. A movie did come out about it.
Oh, wow.
It is not a documentary, though.
Okay.
It's like
just
a
like a Lifetime
drama
movie?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
So like a
portrayal?
Dramatization is what I wrote.
Okay. There's a portrayal of it.
Precisely. So I was only able to find it on Amazon Prime, and I had to rent it. It used to be free on Hulu and a couple of other places. If you have like a certain membership, you can get it there. if you want to watch it, please, by all means. It is called Left for Dead, the Ashley Reeves story.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this is exactly where our story ends. Like, not much information has come out since all of this has happened. Ashley's gone private, which wonderful. Please live your life, baby girl. Sam, tell us what the hell's going on, man. I want to know. I'm nosy. But hold on. We'll get into this in a minute. I love a survivor story, and I'm so happy that, yes, Ashley's alive and she's living her best life, like as best as she can, when she was believed not to make it by every single person who saw her.
I mean, she should have been in a vegetative state.
Absolutely, she should have. Like
she is a literal walking miracle.
As for Sam, I really hope he is actually reformed and has stopped preying on and grooming young girls, because that's exactly what he did to Ashley and maybe other young girls he was talking to and having relations with that we don't even know about. And hopefully he's learned how to pee in front of people.
One can only hope.
Yeah. We'll
And
see.
hopefully he wakes up every day for the rest of his life and steps on a Lego.
Absolutely.
But also, I don't understand. He was 27 when he did this. 26. And 20 years is all they're going to give him for attempted murder. Like, I know he didn't murder her, but like he thought he did, and he left her out there, and then it took him forever to confess to it. And you just think that after 20 years, he's not going to sit there and be angry for 20 straight years and then get out and either go after her or do that. Like,
So
I understand
think of it this way.
and other things, but I just at 26, I feel like it should have been more than 20 years. So that puts him at 46. He is still young and able-bodied at that point. It's not like they're in their 40s and they get out, or 60s and then they're going to be old, and that's acceptable. Sorry, I'm just raging over like the justice that
Rage away.
ugh.
So the way I kind of see it, me and my devil's advocate,
I know.
do. There was no evidence that he has been planning this at all. So I think, unfortunately, it was a spur of the moment thing. And
So if there would have been premeditation, we would have been looking at different.
it would have been
probably.
different. And I think the reason he even got first degree attempted was because the brutality of the actual violence.
Has he ever come out and said, like, I mean, we know his story, but like, what really made him snap?
We have no idea. And either it's a secret being kept between both of them, or like obviously individually,
Yeah.
or that's actually what happened. I don't know.
And most of the time we do want the scandalous, most like insane reasoning and ways that things happen. And sometimes it is just the weirdest little, like not even a thing that happens, and then this happens.
I think because she was found alive, nothing further came out. I feel like if she was found dead, all the blame would have been put on her, just like he was originally trying to do. So I think his attorney was like, she's fucking alive, you shut your damn mouth.
I also think that if she would have died, that he would have gotten a lot more backlash than he did.
Yeah, I would hope. But I'm also happy she's not dead.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's so dumb that her being alive makes it more her fault than his fault.
Yeah.
Whereas if she wouldn't have been alive, they would have put all the blame on him.
Yeah.
Because you can't. Are you really going to victim shame someone who's already dead?
I agree.
So it's so, that part is just so intriguing to me.
I don't know how I feel, like, in my mind, what actually happened. Like, absolutely what happened to her is horrid, but
there's something missing.
I can't piece together in my head exactly what happened. Was she the one that was obsessed? Because 17-year-olds, if you're really that groomed, absolutely you're in love with someone. To this day, I'm just like, I remember the boyfriend I had when I was 17. I'm not trying, but every once in a while you'll have like thoughts and just be like, oh, okay, not anymore, but like when I was younger, at least in my 20s, I did. But like, you just think about, like, oh, the what ifs. I
Yeah.
loved him so much. Thank God I'm not with that man anymore.
Yeah.
But when you're 17, you're impressionable.
Yeah.
You think you're madly in love with someone when it's clearly not that.
No.
But
And
then again, men are disgusting. And you specifically sent me something that was a chart for men love younger girls. So maybe he was just trying to hold on to that. Maybe he was having a weird, not a midlife, a quarter life crisis.
so, like, I don't want him to make any money off of any of this.
No.
But part of me really hopes now that he's out, he decides to participate in a documentary. Or tries to, I don't know.
I have a
Part of me
feeling.
really makes me hope that he says something eventually.
I also have a feeling that maybe his mother or grandmother said something to him that was just like, keep your head down.
Yeah.
Like, you'll get through this and then you'll get out. Because again, he hasn't had any other like offenses like that except for theft.
Yeah.
So
maybe this was just a weird thing, but either way, I don't like that he's out.
I mean, it's been a few
20
months now.
Yeah, and we
So-
haven't heard anything, and
I don't know.
so that's our justice system, though. So we did have
Yep.
justice.
We got justice for Ashley for a while he was behind bars. So let's hope it stays that way.
Let's
And I
hope
hope
that our prison reform system works.
absolutely. And Ashley, we hope you're doing well, girl. Like, we're so happy for you. We really hope that you're just succeeding and getting everything you want in life. You absolutely deserve this.
Yes, we love survivor stories. We love when people
We do.
survive, and then they thrive afterwards.
Absolutely. And that's perfect. We love that. So that's all I got for you guys. Thank
Yeah.
you for joining us today. Yay for another survivor story. She said I keep doing really fucked up stories.
She does. Like, I keep it lighthearted over here, guys.
Okay. Right. Anyway, if you do not follow us, please go follow us on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, other places I can't think of, YouTube.
Yes. Follow us on YouTube so you can watch all of this go down, our facial expressions, and
It's a good time, man.
It
You
is a
really
good
need to
time.
start watching the YouTube videos.
I know.
They're
I
great.
do need to start watching them.
Yeah. But, and also you can see we're getting a little too comfortable behind this.
Just a little bit. Y'all can probably hear it too. But as always, use the website. It has all of our resources, case submissions. So if there's anything that you guys want us to cover or is happening and you want to know more about, go ahead and put it in the case submission so that we can work on it.
Yes, please do. Other than that, please stay safe out there. If you see something, say something.
Hear something, do something.
We love you guys.
Love you.
Okay, bye.